Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now officially has 96 courses in the game, but I sincerely regret to inform you that if you have opinions at all about these courses, you may as well chuck them in the bin, light a match, and dump your newly created firebomb on the neighbor's doorstep because they blow. But sometimes people just need concrete proof that they're wrong, and so I've decided to enter into the local Mario Kart 8 Deluxe track ranking competition. I got an ad for it this morning. Is your friend dying? Here's how to do CPR. Yes, okay, awesome. Alright, what do I do? First, do you like Mario Kart 8 courses? Do you have opinions about Mario Kart 8 courses? What the f***? Yes? Let's just get right into this. You like Mario Kart, I like Mario Kart, and we both just want some 20-year-old subpar Mario Kart player with a couple hundred hours and 10,000 online VR to crap on about why DK Summit clears all 95 other courses in this game. For the general rules of ranking these courses, I will be formatting it all into a tier list and attempting to rank these tracks as objectively as possible, except that desert courses stink, and circuit tracks are boring, and SNES courses are shit, and the booster course pass is ugly, and ice courses are cool, and tour cities are lame. So now that we've destabilized the myth of objectivity, I've tried to be fair all throughout the list, considering things like track layout, visuals, music, and any included gimmicks or exceptional themes. But obviously, especially near the top and bottom of the list, some subjectivity is needed to differentiate them. Considering I have over 300 hours in this game, I have some very opinionated opinions. But to avoid being predictable, even though I don't have a good history with betting, I bet that I won't pick DK Summit as my favorite track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But you know what I will bet? That 3DS Toad Circuit is the worst track in the entire game. I once showed this track to a 4-year-old and he tried to lick the screen because it looks like f***ing Play-Doh. The course is the first course of Mario Kart 7, but the colours had way more pop in its original rendition, there are completely unrendered textures on display, and it's basically just a figure 8 with extra steps. I guess there's a glide ramp and a cut through pipes, but man, this course just makes me sad. So this course slots into F tier as my least favorite track in the game. If you like this course, you deserve a special surprise left at your doorstep. Just another day of loving Toad Circuit. Oh, what's this? As for the rest of the F tiers, these consist of courses that, if I've been playing for about an hour or so, ready to hop off after one more race, and then they get picked. Sunset Wilds debuted on the Game Boy Advance with Mario Kart Super Circuit with a stunning lighting cycle from day to night. But as we all know, they forgot the f***ing sunset on Sunset Wilds. Without it, it's a very boring course that offers essentially nothing interesting other than some strangely textured mud. Oh, but the lighting is baked into the courses of Mario Kart 8, making it impossible to change. Then go bake this F tier into the course as well. Okay, for the last time, for anyone who doesn't know, because we're going to be going through these 14 times, Mario Kart Tour, mobile Mario Kart game. Booster Course Pass DLC for this game, Mario Kart 8. Borrows most, if not all its tracks from Mario Kart Tour, including their original courses, which consist of real-life World Tour cities as Mario Kart tracks that adventure through landmarks and change routes each lap. You got that? Good. So for our first one on the list, we've got Tour London Loop. I've seen so many people put Tokyo Blur as the lowest rated tour track in the game, but at least I remember Tokyo Blur. I can barely tell you a single thing that happens in London Loop, and so when you consider that Tokyo Blur has the audacity to at least end faster than this course, it puts the depressively foggy, empty roads of London Loop in 94th. Quick, tell me something original about London Loop. Roads? But that doesn't mean Tokyo Blur gets away so easily, with a couple of thwomps and a decent final 10 seconds on the course to carry it to at least end with something interesting. But the basic music and visuals, especially with flags randomly suspended in mid-air that they clearly didn't bother animating, the course is still the second worst of the tour cities. So to complete the trifecta of garbage city courses in the F tier, surprising, maybe some of you, without eyes, is New York Minute. If they were trying to recreate the hundreds of epileptic seizures caused by that one Pokemon episode with Porygon with the flashing lights, then they might have something here. Otherwise, it's no secret that I am not a fan of how insanely jacked up the substandard, flat-coloured bloom is in this course. I think it looks ugly and reflects off the wet track so poorly, but the course has some charm, with landmarks that are actually integrated into the course design itself, with the 8-bit Donkey Kong stuff too. It does the bare minimum. Sky Garden cut quite a few corners in its transition to Mario Kart 8, attempting to mimic its siblings in revitalizing a course from the Game Boy Advance, but failing horrendously as it destroys the original, lovely teal color palette and shortens this course down to a shell of its former self. I want to fly over clouds over shortcuts, not a random, oddly bouncy leaf. The elevation at the end attempts to add something at the last minute, but effectively does nothing. Now moving on to the E tier, these tracks are still crap and I would never pick them, but I won't shut the game off if they're chosen. If you do it a second time though, I'm turning on auto steering with auto accelerate as I get up to go find a pack of chips to grease up all your controllers. And to further torment the guy in my comment section who thinks I hate every Tour City course blindly, we're back to the Tour Cities for the 4th time in the bottom 6 tracks with Paris Promenade. It was a cool introduction to the concept of changing laps, sending you backwards through the final lap, even crossing over against other racers near the back, but the track itself does not offer much else. It has a fork in the road and a snapping piranha plant, but a starter course like this won't carry you very high, especially when the graphical fidelity looks as poor as it does for these first few tracks on this list. We all know this course, the 3rd variation of the track that started it all. For that I give it slight props, as it's also the first track here to have some decent turns in course design, but otherwise, this faithful remake skims out on a lot of missed potential to do anything special at all. What part of this dull, empty course screams Mario to you in any way? All it screams to me is the piss sky. The first new track to debut in the booster course pass itself and had some excited at first, but not me. Sky High Sundae essentially copies Excitebike Arena with its oval shape spamming the trick button, yet this course detracts even further from that with completely blind floaty jumps, as the whole thing is also in anti-gravity. And the theme of ice cream, but in the sky, is uninspired and houses the world's most gigantic toads. Now finally making its first appearance, it's the Mario Kart 8 base game with a SNES course, to no one's surprise. The planes in this course could not be overstated. There is nothing to do here, but the scattered item boxes are a bit of fun I guess, and it visually looks more pleasant than anything talked about so far. It's now finally the first course here to have a slightly interesting track layout and beautiful graphics. As the epitome of the desert theme, and boredom, it's Dry Desert from the GameCube. With the removed tornadoes and snapping piranha thingy in the center of the sand whirlpool, I guess it adds this oasis section to compensate, which allows for a couple of tricks at best. The only plus it has is that the visuals and music do an okay job at selling me that I'm going loopy in the desert, seeing mirages or something of... Wait, what is that? We've now finally escaped E and F tier hell, onto some courses that I would say are just meh, leaving a slightly negative impression overall. The Mario Kart 8 original Mario Circuit slots in here, as I really have nothing much to say about it at all. It allows for long drifts, I guess. That's all I got though. I guess it's apparently the namesake of the entire game. It looks like a Mobius strip, which looks like an 8.
Since the distinctive Mobius loop course looks like the number 8, we said to ourselves, the last game was Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart 8 would be perfect as a title.
But why pick that course for the namesake, huh, Nintendo? Why not Excitebike and call it Mario Kart 0? Cowards? Or better yet, this. Either you love this course, or you hate it. I've gone through both phases in my life, so now I'm just kinda at my meh phase. The ramps on the course are randomized from certain presets each time you play it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is basically just a carpal tunnel simulator as you spam tricks around an oval for a minute. Like eating glue, it really just doesn't hit the same as you get older, which is probably what Excitebike fans do when playing it. Snowland is a GBA remake that actually kept most things intact from its original, with that being about all it does, other than adding a few shortcuts and looking kinda pretty. I'm always partial to winter tracks, and flying item boxes are neat, I guess. And unlike New York Minute, this one took away its previous ability to induce seizures. I'm not very partial to these desert-based courses, and driving through the Piss Lake does not help entice me much further. It visually looks pretty nice, but it doesn't have a very interesting course layout at all. It's got some turns and a tunnel. Good on you, Sweet Sweet Canyon, you tried, but you'll always remind me of Wreck-It Ralph. I had to fight against everything in my very being to not banish this course to the pits of F tier, because my friends like to torture me with one of the most mediocre and nothing tracks ever added to this game, and pick it incessantly. I've played this course about 500 times, and that's 600 times too fucking many. This course barely has anything good or outright horrible to put it in this tier. It just perfectly encapsulates the overall meh of D tier all around. Although this one seemingly does have a lot going on for it, I think the roaring blood orange sunset sky turned to a polluted orange now affects it quite poorly, in addition to removing the inky piranha plants for no reason from its original. The music isn't great, the visuals are meh, but it does have some fun elements, such as bouncing on tents and going up onto rails, but they don't actually do much with said rails, where they could have had trains come through or something. Los Angeles laps also just settles for mediocrity, which in a game as good as Mario Kart 8, does not get you far. The first lap opens up well with the beach and skate park combo thingy, where lap 2 falls off hard with a Paper Mario crossover at the baseball stadium. Lap 3 does redeem it slightly with the oil digging site, dodging mechanical thingies to snatch item boxes, but how interesting can oil mining really get? I was quite harsh to this course at first for the change it made to the original, where you jankily drive across a bumpy railroad on the course's second lap, which also dramatically shortens the course. But I think I've come around to accepting it as a silly, fun little change that helps what's still ultimately a pretty bland desert course. The one thing that I hate the most about the change, however, is the sudden spawning of a giant metal ramp that sends you off onto the railroad. It didn't need to be there, the arrows work fine enough, and they could have even just closed the outer boom gate to let you turn where you needed to go. I want realism in my Mario Kart next time. And rounding off the last of the D tier is Choco Mountain. I just have no good reason to ever select this course, and I think anything in D or below really encapsulates that. There are boulders to dodge, and that's about all that happens in the Poop Mountain. Now, opposed to D tier, I think C tier and above, depending on the circumstances, I could see myself picking any of these courses. Even these C tier ones to change things up from playing Baby Park or Excitebike for the millionth time. So kicking it off is GBA Boo Lake. Quite a fun little course with some real tight turns and crazy floatiness in the underwater anti-grav section, but I really don't get the hype around a course that's over quicker than you can say. It's overrated. A very nice glow up of this course was super appreciated, but I think the developers missed the entire point of Yoshi Valley with its numerous branching paths. Yeah, they brought them all back, and most are a similar length before they reconvene, besides the horrific cannon route, but then they just added a shortcut to one of them that is actually quite easy to cross, thus defeating the entire point of this course, leaving it with what? A big egg? 2 courses in a row with great potential that missed the entire point. 3DS Alpine Pass, or Rock Mountain, sets out to recapture its mountaintop glide and glorious view high above the clouds, but forgets the view actually has to look nice. With no detail in any of what's presented here, you're better off closing your eyes to the glide and mourning what used to be. From 2 courses that missed their potential to one that basically had none in the first place, GBA Mario Circuit. At least they tried something with it, raising up the course with a nice hairpin up some anti-gravity, and an Ultra Hand reference with a cheeky glider cut through some trees, and a fun little pit stop at the starting line. It's got alright turns too, I suppose. Next up is another desert course with bone dry dunes. That's all I have to say. You could say I'm bone dry. This course is mechanically more complex than some others, boosting it above almost every single desert course in the Mario Kart series, and the music boosts it quite highly with some lovely strings, but how far can you really go when this is your inspiration? I can still have fun with this one, but there are certainly much more inspired courses in the game. And that can sort of be said for Tour Athens Dash. Honestly, that was probably one of the worst courses to transition to after that statement. As a city track, it literally just steals from real life, which isn't as interesting as the acid trip of the Mario universe, but as a city track, it is also far more inspired than any of the others, flying you all over the monuments of classical Greece to get lovely views over the city. Ugh. This course's track design reminds me of when as a kid you'd find a bit of random junk or trash somewhere, like dirt piles and shit, and just jump all around it, making up your own bullcrap, with no sense of direction or purpose, but just for the fun of it. I've got a story for you about the creation of Twisted Mansion. It's pretty simple. The course designer was on the toilet one day and suddenly remembered they needed to have a spooky themed course in the game, and thought, crap, what the hell are we going to put in this course? The game ships tomorrow, he said as he looked down. What the hell does sewers have to do with a haunted mansion? That aside, the bouncy halls at the start are uninspired, just on the walls now. I do love the rush for the ending section though. If you don't have a mushroom for the grass cut, you're getting passed by more than half the lobby, guaranteed. Man, I'm really running out of things to say about the C tier courses. This is why they're in C tier. This course is fine, the Coliseum is cool, it looks nice, the night is nice, but the map layout has me more dizzy and confused than when EB Games accepted my pre-order for a Switch OLED and then closed on the f***ing release day. Riverside Park is about as good as the Booster Course Pass GBA remakes get, and this one is pretty good, but very basic and short as always with a heavily sanded down version of its original. For what limited innovations there are, however, I do really appreciate the Tuies and the Twirling Cave. Water Park. I mean, it describes itself. Water parks are cool and this sure is a water park. Now from this point on, I'd say my feelings are more positive than negative, and what better course than the first in the game to lead us into that? Mario Kart Stadium creates a fantastic atmosphere unseen in any other opening course. With an enormous stadium of glowing lights cloaked under the dark night, it leads you through the basics of a regular circuit course with the basic concept of the outer route needing booster pads to keep up with the inner route, but then leads you into the twist of Mario Kart 8. Woven together with the big band theme, this course gives a grand old introduction to a Mario Kart game that elevates itself to the big leagues now. Still, the first course in the game can only go so high. Mute City is the last of the C-tier courses, and this one never really clicked with me super hard. And bringing the F-Zero series to modern day, the anti-grav and constant speed is the way to do it. But this feels like the basic circuit course of F-Zero, but it looks gorgeous and will still absolutely have the potential to get a crazy tense race at top speed every so often. Now, having finally escaped the torture that is blatant mediocrity, everything above here I can confidently say I actually enjoy. With more than half the game still to go, here's the biggest tier yet with the B tier. DS's Shroom Ridge instilled some hope in me that I could enjoy the Booster Course Pass at all, even if fighting off the edge to try and lick the screen. It's got one heck of a theme and some chaotic additional shortcuts to send you diving and weaving through the traffic and over a cliffside road. Just truly unfortunate that this course couldn't manage the bare minimum of not looking like shit. Truly the little bro of traffic courses. Shroom Ridge's edgier but slightly more boring older brother, Toad's Turnpike, is a figure 8 with dense traffic, a 1 in a million chance at gliding over a bridge, and some walls to drive on to get items. It is the white bread of a traffic course, but got a decent graphical overhaul from its original that can certainly cause some tense final stretches, trying not to turn into numerous lanes of traffic. Now to round off our trifecta of Traffic City courses with the cool, slightly rebellious middle child, Tour Berlin Byways offers a constantly changing track with each lap, which works surprisingly well for a traffic course. It can be really fun to not fully anticipate what will come next after each lap, like a twisty finish through some thwomps at the end, a train and water and shit, the Berlin Wall, a hugely significant cultural structure that eventually fell and ended the divide between East and West Germany, leading to the downfall of the Soviet Union, represented by giant falling womps. Wario's Gold Mine was an infamously difficult track in its original rendition. Now, without any of that, with minecarts that are now friendly instead of hazardous, now the fun only really comes from the difficult turns and lack of railguards on the side of most of the track. From one Wii course to another, Daisy Circuit is kind of on the better end of circuit tracks, but why are there so many in this game? But this course's appeal is almost certainly in its aesthetics, with a huge focus on Daisy, Luigi, the colour orange. The track layout plays very little into the conversation here. I love the sunset, I love the seaside view, it just gives a wholesome, happy feeling, unlike the frickin' plastic hotel. And concluding yet another trifecta, maybe even rather controversially, Wii Coconut Mall. It's still in B tier, I do still like it, just less than 58 other courses. The original was 100% an S tier course, but now it feels quite downsized, the colours make it feel like a theme park attraction rather than a real mall, the conveyor belts look goofy as hell, and the challenge outside with dodging cars to get boost pads is completely gone. It's lost all its elegance, but yet it's still Coconut Mall even if at spot number 59. Never did I think I'd see the day a SNES course would surpass Coconut Mall, but here we are. For what it is, SNES Bowser Castle 3 is a phenomenal remake that plays with the original layout and quite literally raises it to new heights. The careful placement of the thwomps around the course are refined and intentional, and the visual upgrade with the anti-grav chaos is finally something f***ing interesting for a SNES course. In the spirit of flat courses receiving exceptional remakes, it's GBA Cheeseland. Now I didn't originally rank this course too highly, because it's just like a silly cheese desert, which is funny, but like, how interesting is that going to stay? The bullet extension on here that sweaty online losers that are better than me use also used to piss me off, but I can't deny the revamped twists, turns and jumps are some solid stuff. But what really boosted my impression of this course was something I hadn't even noticed until a month ago. This song f***ing slaps! Who gave it the right to go this insanely hard? I could play this theme for the rest of the video with no complaints. Entering into the top 5 of 14 tour city courses, it's Madrid Drive. The cities from here on feature true adventures through their respective cities, setting out on a real sightseeing journey. With countless landmarks through here and 3 separate soundtracks for their respective locations, Madrid Drive is actually worthy of the B tier. 'Tis the season for Christmas, and what better course to get you in the mood than Merry Mountain. Even after getting this course last year, the festive mood of December never fails to boost this course to a winter wonderland of joy. Even in Australia, where our Christmas looks like this. There's properly integrated anti-grav and a first half booster course pass track. I always have fun on this course in Christmas time. But imagine playing this course in June. Hence, place number 55. So if you're looking for a winter wonderland in lieu of Merry Mountain, I guess Rosalina's Ice World has you covered. I have a bit of a soft spot for this course with its Mario Galaxy theming and my partiality to the ice and snow, and with quite a low-key, somewhat melancholic and foreboding theme, this course is nice and moody for any edgy Rosalina fan. But the second half of the course's name adequately and unfortunately describes what a good portion of this track is, an ice world. And so to pep you back up is DS Mario Circuit, yet another Mario Circuit, and finally the last. So what makes this one the best? It's not boring. The colours are vivid, 5 piranha plants shoot at you, the warp pipe through to the newly grown deep forest with a sleeping wiggler, and the ending with some nail-biting S-turns make for some stellar finishes. Dragon Driftway takes on the form of the Gobblegut from Mario Galaxy 2, which blends spectacularly with its Chinese theming. With a consistently tight-packed, ferociously twisty, upside-down course, there is not a single race on here that isn't at least a little bit chaotic. Not to mention it has some pretty decent cuts over the dragon's body, but not much else going for it other than that core idea of the twisting of the Gobblegut. Now I didn't say we hit the last circuit track, and this isn't even the last here with N64 Royal Raceway. What more could you want out of a circuit course other than a real racing mood with consistently great turns and always a tight finish? I love the lakeside setting with all the little toad boats and the hot air balloons too. Mario Kart 8 really thrives at truly reimagining their retro courses. Now for a real Bowser Castle with the base 8 version hosting such original features as a giant animated Bowser statue, fire bars, lava, a swinging ball and chain! Jokes aside, this atmosphere is simply incredible, and no Bowser Castle has come close to being as intimidating as this one, but the track itself is rather nothing. I do like the idea of picking a path to avoid Bowser literally punching the road though. That's pretty cool. Now to settle an age-old debate. Scholars have looked on at this course for millennia, unable to determine how it can simultaneously be the greatest course ever conceived in Mario Kart history, or the most abominable stain to it. So, I've decided for them. It's right in the middle. And number 49 is Baby Park. Definitively. Now everyone can shut up about it. The course is a f***ing circle. With 7 laps of the shortest track in the game, Baby Park can get insanely wild. The original rendition was insane due to how many wild exclusive items there were, doing 7 laps over and over in a mess of passing the guy in last like 6 times and shit flying everywhere. But it was a kind of lightning in a bottle. God, we really learnt that from DS. But in my opinion, 8 began to recapture that original magic. But it was the far more frequent items of 8 Deluxe that really brought this track back to the chaos it deserves. Setting the course on an angle allows for anti-gravity throughout too, so everyone's just crashing around and spinning and boosting off each other, and with grass corners to cut over with speed items, with what limited additions they could have made, that was a good one. None of this is an excuse to pick it 7,000 times in online lobbies though, because it just ruins the magic for everyone. Or attempts to, because I still quite like it. Although, there was always the horrific prophecy it set out, yet to be fulfilled, sitting there, looming over the course. And with that, we're at our halfway intermission, and what better way to spend it than by doing a ranking of the other courses in the game, with the battle courses. Inspired by Shea Frillis Productions. Number 8, SNES Battle Course 1. Not even the f***ing battle tracks are exempt from being shit. Why do they keep insisting on bringing stuff from this game back? This course is a square with short walls around it.
cool.
This basic vanilla ice cream course of Battle Stadium is way too thin and long to be enjoyable, but I do appreciate the anti-gravity section implemented in here. That's a bit of fun. But the course is so large and linear that I feel like I have to stop and fully turn on the spot way too frequently. Luigi's Mansion is heavily defined with 3 distinct floors, which is pretty neat, but is not quick to get down to the bottom floor. I do appreciate a unique concept though, even if not all that good. But this one's pretty good, with a lot of area to freely move around in, but it's very small. You've basically explored the entire thing in the first 5 seconds. I love the idea that Lunar Colony brings back the space station aesthetic from base Rainbow Road into a fully anti-grav battle course on a planetoid like this. It's got a full outside route too that you can cross over to in the middle at any time. Based heavily on Dragon Driftway, Dragon Palace has a lot going on for it, with a huge temple and a spiraling staircase around the inside that lets you smash through the outside window to the courtyard. It's got 2 outside entrances that circle around to the inside of the palace again, with 2 giant statues to really fill in the outside with a more interesting layout to navigate around. And the bottom has 2 entries through smashing windows as well, which is all too satisfying and allows for a great sense of mobility around the course. How can you not love 3DS Woohoo Town? Based on Woohoo Island in HD for the first time. With a HD Woohoo Island, I'm so disappointed the Woohoo race courses didn't come back, but at least in a future game they should look excellent, as does this course. It's such a happy course that brings a smile to any Wii Sports Resort fan. With the landmarks of Woohoo Town like the basketball court and buildings, I just love a good nostalgia crossover with the old music returning too. What did I just say? Of course the Splatoon crossover is my favourite battle course. Who saw this coming? I love the classic music remastered in the Jazzy 8 style, with the Now or Never theme also in there as well. They didn't have to do that. And as with other crossover race courses, they have the Splatoon coins and item sound effects from when you re-roll abilities as well. It's very nice to see this course, and I feel like I just know the layout like the back of my hand. I love all the different sneaky routes and, oddly, flanks. This map is better designed than modern Splatoon 3. Wow, those were sure some neat battle tracks in Mario Kart 8. I can't imagine the game without them. Oh well, I'm glad we never had to. So, back into the higher end of our B tier, where the tracks start getting really good, we enter back into the fray with Mario Kart 64's Rainbow Road. This is our first Rainbow Road of 5 on the list, perhaps rather controversially. Don't get me wrong, this Rainbow Road is perhaps the most gorgeous and endearing aesthetically of them all. And with that iconic music, the fireworks going off, a magical train chugging through the sky, raining coins down on the road, and the beautiful city below, featuring Toad Harbor oddly. Some definite points there for me, you'll see later. So why does it rank the lowest of all the Rainbow Roads? Because the track itself is dull as hell. It also got shortened from 3 gigantic laps to 1 really short one, where I think 2 would have been the perfect sweet spot. Otherwise, it sort of just feels like the course plays itself as more a final parade for the retro courses than a race in and of itself. DK Mountain is just plain charming, with the first course to introduce this idea of a cannon shot up high with a lengthy journey to move all the way back down. It definitely still has a novelty, despite seeing further refinement later on in the series, with a course yet to appear on this list. Not at number 1 though, because my entire life savings is on the line. The novelty is not exactly what it used to be, but it still carries a joyful atmosphere up high in the sky, and it looks quite nice for Booster Course Pass standards. With tough turns near the end and the forever thrilling gap jump over the fence still intact, this course is nice. Based on Gusty Garden Galaxy from Mario Galaxy, with even a hint of the motif slipped into the theme, Cloud Top Cruise comes in next. Sharing a very similar appearance to Sky Garden, and even called that in other languages, this course is that concept taken to the max. With a beanstalk sprouting out of a giant item box, a nice cloud top drive with bounces and twists onto an airship, and a final rush through thunderclouds to hit all the right boost panels, this course is a lovely adventure. Speaking of lovely adventures, Tour Amsterdam Drift has plenty of locations to drive through, all truly fleshed out fairly well in my opinion. The course doesn't speedrun 100 million different landmarks like others, instead coming together in a nice combination of what feels like Moo Moo Meadows, Toad Harbor, and Piranha Plant Pipeway, all courses I rate quite highly. It falters in rather plain visuals, with very rough looking fields near the beginning, but I just adore the city itself, especially its moving trams to dodge. Not too far off its predecessor is the Mario Kart 8 original Rainbow Road. A huge contributor to this ranking so highly for me is its futuristic techno-electric guitar theme, It has a very different identity for a Rainbow Road for once, which I have to give it props for. It introduces a whole space station aesthetic, because how many times do you want the same Rainbow Road idea fed back to you? However, the course falters its track layout most, with no particularly memorable sections other than skipping a huge chunk of it very easily in its ideal route. Concluding the last of our botched Mario Kart Wii tracks, it's Wii Cooper Cape. I've ripped a new one into this track for a long time in its dedicated Wave 5 video, so I'll just speedrun it here. Cut corners, a visual downgrade, removal of a huge part of its core identity in the tube section. It's a pretty sad sight to see, where before it was a silly old rush through what felt like a water slide in nature. But the amount of things it still has going on continues to grant quite a bit of merit, fortunately. Enough so for it not to drop any further than B. God, there are quite a few high-ranking Wii tracks in here, but if you showed me Moo Moo Meadows ranked this highly in its original version, I would have scoffed at you. This course is the second Mushroom Cup track in its respective game, but here I believe it opens up the retro selection of Mario Kart 8 with such a mood. In the early morning sunrise of Moo Moo Meadows, it now looks gorgeous, showcasing just how much of a revamp the base 8 retros will get as you play them. And the music is simply divine under a live band with some beautiful violins stringing along. This one is entirely this high for all its combined style, and the track itself is just fine. Now for the podium of Tour Cities at rank number 41, the nighttime cityscape of Vancouver Velocity is delightful, with a fantastically synthy theme accompanying. The first 2 laps of this course send you high above the forest, on an anti-gravity bridge, through a park, and in the chaos of an active ice rink. Lap 3 sort of falls apart reusing this spot again however, with a newly changed exit to add to the confusion. Generic ice course returns once again, and what can I say? We don't have this in Australia, I find it fascinating. With a super cozy wintry theme, fireworks and Shy Guys going off all around you, with quite an open track design, dually on the surface and below the slippery ice, I get quite a lot of enjoyment from this remake. And at nighttime too, this is just a feel-good course to me, earning at number 40. And coming in shortly after number 3 of the Tour Cities, it's Sydney Sprint. No bias here. As an Australian, seeing where I live depicted as something more than a barren desert with millions of terrifying bugs and creatures, this makes me enjoy the course quite a lot. It's just a solid track with plenty of solid turns, shortcuts, tricks over the bridge, glides, it has it all. With a banger of a theme that just pumps you right up, and the beautiful setting at the side of the Sydney Harbour, this course is just so lively. Honestly, I have no idea what the reception towards this course is, but I definitely think it's on the better side, with it nearly sneaking up into the lower end of A tier here. It's a pretty faithful remake, other than adding a randomly sloped anti-grav bit that lasts about 2 seconds, but is pretty cool, and this random underwater bit at the end too, which I'm not the biggest fan of. The glide at the end is a lot of fun though. The ending as a whole does a great job at refining the overly long bullcrap of the original's ending at least, so for that I think it earns a high spot. But it doesn't do anything else more noteworthy than that. You either love Ninja Hideaway or you hate it. So once again, obviously, I think it's pretty good. With the very unique concept of 2 continuous ongoing levels of elevation throughout the entire track, you can really fight to keep the higher, faster-ish route the whole time. It consistently has a lot to ask of you, making sure you really planned out what your route's going to be before you commit to it. Otherwise, face the wrath of falling down a lot. And at the absolute peak of B tier, it's the Legend of Zelda crossover course, Hyrule Circuit. I asked earlier what more you could possibly want out of a circuit track back with Royal Raceway, but you were forgetting one crucial thing. Puzzles, I guess? Because Hyrule Circuit has a Zelda puzzle. Although a basic run through Hyrule, it's got a legendary remix with all sorts of Zelda motifs, and sends you through Hyrule Castle to spin all these pillars that will unlock a shortcut ramp through a roundabout to trick off the Master Sword. The rest of the track itself, however epic of a crossover it is somewhat basic, and is the only thing restraining it from entering the A tier. So that about wraps up the B tier. All courses from here on in the A tier are courses I think are actively great, and have a blast on consistently. Since Mario Kart 8 is a fantastic game, we still have 35 courses left to go in this tier or higher. So starting us off in the A tier is the highest rated SNES course with Rainbow Road. This is the exception to the flat and boring SNES courses sucking, because this course is hard. It's thin, it's got ramps and Rainbow Road thwomps on acid, a mushroom jump, races are always fast paced and scary as shit without a single guardrail on this map, now with 12 races. Definitely deserving of the top spot of the base Rainbow Roads in my opinion, for actually having a difficult track layout, and it looks gorgeous to boot. Ribbon Road comes in at 34 as the highest rated GBA course, and deservingly so, with a remake that transports us from the present dimension to now being shrunk down in a giant playroom, driving over a wavy ribbon course. Now also with a newly added windy anti-grav ribbon section, and plenty of tricky but satisfying shortcuts. Daisy Cruiser is all about its ambience, with honestly half the reason it ends up being this high being its heavenly rearrangement here with the steel drum and strings. But the track itself, what a cool concept, having a cruise ship map, the shifting tables and chairs with tricky items to dodge, and drastic alternate paths that serve up a difficult choice. Do you want to go far slower with a lot more items, or keep on front running ahead? But honestly, who cares about that crap? You're on a cruise ship. Now perhaps in what's honestly a fairly lukewarm take is the fan favourite Waluigi Pinball at number 32. And yet still in A tier. I just think 8 offers a lot more creativity with its courses, and this one oddly suffers from changing absolutely nothing from its original rendition, despite its greatness. I just think they could have revamped it a little bit more, with perhaps anti-gravity near the beginning, but a super long drive through pinball chaos is still as unique a theme as ever to earn it a low A tier. And for our highest tour city, it's Singapore Speedway coming in at a very respectable low A. There is so much to gush about in this massive course, with extremely distinct laps all around and a gorgeous blue city wrapping all the vivid colours together so nicely. Glides, giant towers, water features, conveyors, markets. This course has all the sights and gimmicks you could ask for in a compelling world tour race. Mushroom Gorge on the other hand is just pure fun. Planning your path ahead with the chaotically bouncy mushrooms falling into the chasm below, it's just a damn good time throwing items during the madness. Plus I get to do this shit and piss off all my friends. For the highest ranked circuit course, Yoshi Circuit takes it easily. It's got such electrifying turns all over the course, with a friggin' shortcut through a waterfall, the music gets you pumped, and it's aptly named for once. It's Yoshi Circuit because the track is shaped like a Yoshi. What makes a Mario Circuit, huh? Peach's Castle? Because if this is meant to be a drawing of Mario, Nintendo f***ing sucks. Does that mean that because this is the Mario Circuit layout in the logo, as we so kindly pointed out earlier, the game is called Mario Kart Mario? You can't deny the truth any longer. I'll be the first to tell you that this course shouldn't be ranked this highly, but it's just so charming. Animal Crossing serves as a crossover track from the second DLC pack and comes with 4 themed variants across all 4 seasons of summer, autumn, winter, and spring. And they all look fantastic. With fully orchestrated rearrangements for all the versions, the bright happy summer version of this track is peppy, the autumn is calm and relaxing, the winter is super chill, cozy and festive, and the spring is bright and full of life with cherry blossom trees. It fits the stages of an Animal Crossing town beautifully, and I find the track itself simply delightful. The visuals are sublime with the fruit forest section, I glide through the iconic balloons now filled with items, I drift over the beach and with countless buildings, villages and houses all over the place. It's adorable and stunning all around, capturing the pure joy and feel of an Animal Crossing town with everything you'd do in one. There is too much hate for this course and not enough appreciation. The setting of Dolphin Shoals is so frickin' beautiful, diving into the depths of a marine paradise. This is one of the few courses that I believe does diverging paths well, with a section of pure chaos with boosters and gushing pipes all over the place that let you shoot through about 4 different paths. Plus the music is phenomenal, and yet the biggest crime it commits because it has 3 different variants that sell you on the underwater deep dive super frickin' well, especially alongside the terrifying moray, but it also means we don't get to hear that insane sax for as long as we need to. Mario Kart 7 has some major underrated bangers, this certainly not being the last of them. Melody Motorway, or the inferior name of Music Park, sends you flying through a mess of instruments interacting with the stage as you dodge piano keys, piranha plants grooving to the beat, and giant sentient music notes here to steal your change. It should not have taken this long for the quintessential home of the Yoshis to get its own Mario Kart course, with Yoshi's Island. One of the unexpected slam dunks of the Booster Course Pass, Yoshi's Island takes you around the titular game's opening screen through all its characters and worlds. The course continues the crossover trend of bringing over iconic mechanics from their respective series, with the winged clouds opening a tighter turn in the sky for those skilled enough to hit it. Alright, we're officially entering into heavy bias territory at the top of the list with Thwomp Ruins. Most tracks from here on are exceptional in my opinion, but can sometimes be decided by things that just appeal heavily to my tastes. But I'll try my best to explain. Thwomp Ruins is an awesome idea for a level theme, with its sky-high setting combined with ruins lost way up in the distant mountains. I love the idea that there were perhaps people long ago in the Mario universe that worshipped Thwomps, so a structure surrounding that is suitably exquisite. And the music only adds to this sense of mystery and intrigue building up as you explore around, only to hit that sense of freedom and adventure as you glide out of there. And you can't not love all the diverging paths once again, opening up a little playground for a brief moment in the middle of the course. Now who doesn't want to sprint down a slippery bathroom? Take notes from Squeaky Clean Sprint kids, but who wasn't surprised by the quality of this course? It's such a terrible idea, but the music feels kinda old-timey, and it oddly fits your descent into the drains of dropped and forgotten wedding rings. All my friends I've talked to frickin' hate Peach Gardens for some reason, and I just don't see it. It looks beautiful, especially with all new statues in the big main area, with an open view of the drivers going all over the place. I'm noticing a pattern here, maybe I just want an open world Mario Kart or something. Even though there are some unfortunately cut corners here and there, I think the variety the backwards lap and glide through the maze adds here is great. Was Peach Gardens' layout really just so iconic that you needed to do that exact route of laps 1 and 2 a third time? This might be my hottest take of the video. Lachie, why the f is Cheap Cheap Beach this high up on your list? Well, you see, I think well, obviously because I just like beaches, man. Shut up. I think this course gets slept on with surprisingly varied locations, with a pier section at the beginning, a turn under a cave area reminiscent of Koopa Troopa Beach, a choice between the faster jump or double item boxes, and now you can cut through the surrounding water. Plus look at how stunning this area looks, guys. I will die on this hill. And it ends you off in a tropical forest with mud to dodge and a pretty sharp turn, right into some ramps for speed in a tight area, ripe for a close finish. I think for an early game course, this one does swimmingly. Now entering into the top 20, I'm on a bit of a roll with slightly hot takes. I know DK Jungle could have done a bit more with its theme. It could have used the factory or minecart settings from the Country Returns game it pays homage to, but damn it, if this isn't the course that's the most faithful to what modern day Donkey Kong actually is, then you're wrong. I love the Banana Temple, the dense forest, the strange possessed statues as you glide past them. To me, this is the true victor of the crossover Mario Kart 8 tracks. This course as a kid was frickin' terrifying. Even to this day, the dread and panic it emits is exhilarating. As the course slowly crumbles away around you as the laps progress, and the volcano rains its fiery assault down on the track ahead, Grumble Volcano is nothing short of a blast. It's got good and tricky turns and a fantastic theme. What more could you ask for? The best Waluigi and best stadium course comes in next at number 18, with fittingly, Waluigi Stadium. I don't know how you couldn't have fun under the glamorous nighttime stadium and roaring crowd, with the freedom of expression to flip and trick wherever you damn well like. The newly added hanging anti-grav pieces that you can flip up to truly add some extra advantage and choice to a course with never-ending stunts, with half pipes lining the sides what feels like at all times. You wouldn't believe it, but I'd say at number 17 and right near the top of A tier, Maple Treeway's fallen down since its debut, but a course as beautifully thematic as this still ranks highly. Bursting through piles of leaves, avoiding roaming wigglers and hiding away in trees, it's a delight as always. It's a bummer there are random spots of green grass everywhere. I think it contrasts too much with the entire concept, and especially don't look to the sides of this glide down here. No, stop! I said don't look at it! Yeah, the graphical fidelity here is not what it needs to be to compete with the best of Mario Kart 8 unfortunately, but will always have a special place in my heart. I had been excitedly awaiting the underwater ruins of Piranha Plant Cove all year, and it did not disappoint. Plenty of tricks and obstacles to dash all around, ruins to explore, hills to climb, water to splash all around in. I think Piranha Plant Cove is a charming and mysterious new realm of the Mario universe. Based on the stage from Mario 64 of the same name, Tick-Tock Clock from Mario Kart DS received an outstanding glow up to a previously super fun course. The course has its own brand of clock-themed hazards, like shifting gears and clock faces all over. It's just a pleasant aesthetic with the tightly tense track from DS. You're no fun if you hate Electrodrome. This rave has a mood like no other course, an increasingly common pattern I'm spotting with all these high tier courses. The music shifts and warps entering into the split path anti-gravity section, and beats you hit as you drift to the final glide. This course is nothing short of breathtaking, the theme doing some heavy lifting all round with this one. So you guys remember the trifecta of traffic courses from earlier? Well, this one is the Giga Chad uncle of those three chumps. Speed limits? A mere suggestion. Driving off-road, flipping above the cars? A requirement. And f***ing bomb cars? Uncle Jerry doesn't give a shit. It's Moonview Highway. The chaos of this course is riveting, with the balls to actually do something simultaneously interesting and good with a traffic course. Shy Guy falls. I hope he's okay. This course gives me complete and utter chills, rushing up the waterfall, down it again, and gliding back over the start of the course you'd already passed. Shy Guy Falls combines the theme of the Alpine Pass-like mountainscape with the anti-gravity that allows for you to actually do something special with the idea, to create a genuinely terrifying rush down the waterfalls. How had the classic Super Mario Bros. Underground not been explored as a theme yet? But what better execution could you ask for than with a pipeway of piranha plants in Piranha Plant Pipeway? Missing out just barely on the top 10 by one place, and at the peak of A tier, this course is extremely solid, as you tumble down the classic Mario pipes through slides at the beginning, rushing water all around and past a giant piranha plant, dashing over the classic Mario bricks, dodging some guardless, super sharp turns, then finally taking the big dive into the depths of the water in an anti-grav section that just feels natural, despite being newly implemented in this remake. It even has gusts of wind to propel you above the piranha plant. And last but not least is its fantastic ending, shooting back out of the pipes and out of the castle walls with a hectically tight cut through a bush cutout to end it off. So having given a lovely send-off to the greats of A tier, we enter into the realm of S tier courses, my top 10 favourite courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now of course before we start, who am I to say these courses belong here for certain at all? Who said that my opinion has any merit over yours? And who said that it's not okay to prefer any of the other courses in this game to be in the top 10? That's right, I did. This is my f***ing list. Buckle up and let's do this. These are the definitive top 10 courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. F-Zero returns with the mightiest comeback of all time, slotting nicely into slot number 10 with Big Blue. Truly an epic finale of a course, one deserving of ending off the base game list of cups. Going above and beyond their previous outing with Mute City, Big Blue hits all the same notes of high speed, coin refueling pads, and some acrobatic twistiness upside down and all over, with crucial use of anti-gravity. Taking on the lofty task of a section course, we boost through alternating conveyors, down crazy waterfalls, more conveyors twisting us upside down, just barely hanging over the water, as we shoot through the last split path section in a sprint to the finish. If anything were to give modern day F-Zero fans a reason to live, it's Big Blue. The views over this course are f***ing marvelous, and you've heard this theme playing over the audio here, right? Another section track on this list, but certainly not the last, with a grand sense of finality to it, is 3DS Rainbow Road. Section courses with true variety in each evolving section, building a continuously faster and more exhilarating pace with each bit you pass, are always going to be phenomenal. Set yours up in the vastness of outer space with the infinite mushroom, and it's going to feel real special. The 8 version really has not changed a lot, and it didn't need to a single bit. It's kind of more of a Rain Blue road now, but that doesn't change the spectacular music, stunning views and obstacles, and the anti-grav glide across the moon, leaving this as one of the greatest rainbow roads of all time, and certainly deserving of the 9th spot on the list. But you know what's more exciting than a galactic road through the vastness of the universe? An airport. Me personally, going to an airport is always an exciting time. Stressful, yeah, but it calls to a new adventure when you're there, and so Sunshine Airport achieves just that perfect balance, tricking off of luggage carousels, gliding through the sky with a plane crossing dangerously close above, and all under the theme of the Sunshine Airport from Mario Sunshine. The course is beautiful all around, although I do wish we spent just a bit more time in the airport itself. Special touches like the more muted sound effects in the sky to simulate just how loud and crazy an aeroplane takeoff can be, however, keeps this steadily in my top 10 anytime I replay it. From the heights of the skies to the cities down below, 3DS Koopa City used to annoy the shit out of me. I can sympathise with people who don't like this course. I was once a garbage little peasant boy like the rest of you who couldn't do the big boy turns, but once I got the hang of it, oh boy. Koopa City is a race course in the heights of a towering, futuristic Bowser City, to give him something different other than a castle for once, which this course clears easily. The turns on this course are nothing short of perfection, intricately designed to ask the tightest turns possible of you, only further enhanced with the mechanics and visuals of the best Mario Kart there is. With a rich blue colour palette, a gorgeous downpour of rain on a slippery course, and an arrangement jam-packed with about 50 other Mario Kart motifs, including the Mario Kart 7 main and circuit theme, the Wii circuit theme, and Toad's Turnpike, it's a course for the ages. ground ourselves a little bit from these extravagant settings as we move further and further down from the complete chaos of these last few courses. Let's head to the ever mystical forest of Wild Woods. Wild Woods is a fantastical treetop village inhabited by Shy Guys, some even with a death wish. You start off in anti-gravity on the side of a tree, where if you look back you see the floor below you. The track sends you through the village, then rushing through a water slide made from within the trees to shoot you over some shuffling lily pads over the finish. It might seem rather basic, but it all just comes together in what's nothing short of a magical experience. Oh, and it's hard carried by a majestic song playing throughout, made in 5/4 time to really give it a unique feel. Now we're really stretching away from the typical Mario locales, entering into the tunnels of Super Bell Subway. This is the true best traffic course, because you're not avoiding cars this time, no. You're avoiding fucking trains. The course plays once again on the whole underground theme of Mario, in a much different fashion to earlier with Piranha Plant Pipeway though, as it's cued instead with the music as you fly into the subway itself. If you didn't think dodging around trains was cool as have you tried driving on them? Tricking off of them? Not to mention the countless routes to take in the mess of the tunnels the whole way through. It's every joy as a child you'd have playing toy trains, mixed up into a gorgeous and intricately designed Mario Kart course. Each path grants you ways to dodge other drivers, snag items in otherwise unattainable areas, take shortcuts, or glide above it all, trying not to get cut off in the busyness of the city life. Truly deserving of the top 5. Now, having only made its debut recently, my childhood trauma returns in the much-deserved spot of number 4 with Wii Rainbow Road. This remake keeps everything this course was known for, being thematic as hell and hard as balls. As one of the longest courses in the game, there could not be a more fitting course to end off the entirety of the game. This was always the final trial of Mario Kart Wii, and so now, seeing myself able to conquer this course once and for all is truly a special thing to have in this game. For me and so many others. It maintains everything that made it special in the first place, the difficult turns, the continuous punches it does not pull, with never-ending thrills and challenges, and a gorgeous atmosphere way above the earth. I'm also kind of Mario Galaxy's bitch, so the motif appearing here only further emphasizes that this is the best Rainbow Road in all of Mario Kart. It's stunning, it's hard, it's atmospheric, but it's not Mount Wario, possibly the objective best course in the game. Mount Wario takes the concept of a section track, you know, with what I said before about it needing continuous interest and evolution throughout, and throws everything it possibly can at it. But not just randomly, there is so much care put into every aspect of the course. You start at the slippery peak of the mountain, uncertainty ahead and throughout section 1, unsure whether you can even stay atop the icy course, filled with nerves for the absolutely gargantuan descent before you. But as you head into section 2, there's no more time for messing around because shit gets crazy and you need to focus up. This is where the losers are left behind in the race, lost to the damp caves, the bottom of the dam, or the dense forest ahead. It is a never-ending onslaught of tall orders, and you need to keep up, all contained within section 2 alone. Because of course, it's all decided in the final section, and you need to be as far ahead as possible. The only thing slowing you down is an unguarded blue shell or some fucking dickhead with 6 different red shells to drop you all the way back down into the Shadow Realm. Nothing beats the fantastic thrills of Mount Wario. Except, isn't this number 3? What the f*** is after Mount Wario? Yeah, that's right, I've got a personality. My second favourite course in the game is Toad Harbor. Why? Because! You might have been thinking that this top 10 was just full of fan favourites and was going so well until this showed up. Well, maybe you need to take a page out of Toad Harbor's book, relax, and chill the hell out, because Toad Harbor is my Mario Kart happy place. How can you not be relaxed in the happy-go-lucky Toad Town, with frickin' trams to jump off? Honestly, I can't really explain very well why Toad Harbor is up this ridiculously high on my list. I just chose it to be my favourite one day, and here it stayed. I love the setting and musical theme first off. It hits me as a city boy looking out over the water to the statue of Libba Peach. or whatever the hell that is for some reason. But for the course itself, I love the boat jump at the start, I love the alternate routes of the top and bottom with the tents here, I love the thinner side street curling above and through the course in such a weird way, leading up to attempts to dodge the marching trams, or the choice to simply ignore them on the wall instead. And I love the view going down the big open road again. And once again, you can jump off the trams. I just love a good course that constantly engages my horrific attention span with so much to do constantly, and consistent ways to change it up every time. So paired with a theme I find simply adorable, well, why wouldn't this course be my favourite in all of Mario Kart 8? Wait a second, it was supposed to be. I said it wouldn't be DK Summit again, right? Oh, you're fucking kidding me. I'm a wee baby. I'll always be a little wee baby. And DK Summit / Snowboard Cross makes me feel like that little wee baby again. I love doing the tricks, I love doing the flips, I love zooming all over the place like a crazy person to the best freaking Mario Kart theme ever created. Sure, it doesn't quite hit the same cold, lonely mood, especially with the dense foggy mist that dissipates over each lap gone, but I don't care. The theme still hits hard as hell. It now kinda gives off an extreme sports vibe with the mission ahead to zoom down the mountain below. It's still a fun as hell course with so much bullshit flipping all over the place. It feels like a place to pretend you have any form of skill expression, going over every single half pipe possible, even if you have none. But you especially have none if you take the gap cut. Why would you want to play less of DK Summit? Absolute losers. I love this course because you truly can't get the experience anywhere else. The dangerous flips off of cliffs, the insane airtime, the cesspool of items in the half pipe ending bit, and I just happen to love that unique experience that this course goes for. It's especially not achieved with the beautiful winter theme anywhere else in the series. So even though I lost all my money, DK Summit is probably always going to stay a favourite of mine. So that's simply the best Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ranking of all time. And yeah, don't bother trying to top it because you're wrong. And that's my submission of the best Mario Kart 8 track ranking of all time. What'd you think? So that's great, but this is a gun repair store and I have no idea what the f a DK Snowboard Cross is. What? But the sign on the door says this is the competition. No, that's clearly a front-on view of a three-dimensional arrow pointing behind you to the correct door. Oh, sir, we fixed that gun of yours while that really long video played. Grazie. It's the little things in life. Alright everyone, alright, simmer down. Okay, I'm the announcer guy and I'm gonna be announcing today the winner of the track ranking competition, huh? Yeah, give me a round of applause, you fuckheads. So now, the winner is... What do we win? This guy called Bert that we found. And so, the winner of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe track ranking competition. Come on, please be me. No, announce the winner! Di Salvador Bert! And so, Italian Lachie held the entire competition hostage and ruined the whole thing. And I lost all my money as well. But I scoured around back at the stage and found that I did actually win something.